In a short time, several of our notable athletes announced their retirement from figure skating at once. Mikhail Kolyada said the word suspension. Tiffany Zagorski and Jonathan Guerrero admitted that they were completing. There are a lot of figure skaters on the national team's lists for the 2023-24 season who can end their careers or simply silently not appear at Russian competitions, as their predecessors did more than once, from the heroes of Pyeongchang to the recently departed Davis and Smolkin. We emphasize that we reason logically and only make, in our opinion, reasonable assumptions, but often these assumptions are confirmed by insider information. The last time Alexandra Trusova appeared on the competitive ice was last November at the Grand Prix stage. She flew to the Russian Championship, but got sick. As a person who flew with her on the return flight, I can confirm that she looked like she had a cold. But if it were a pre-Olympic championship, it would certainly have come out. One way or another, but then she missed the Grand Prix final. The arguments given by the sources and the logic in favor of abandoning the competition. 1. Of course, the suspension and the lack of sense to compete in domestic competitions, especially after de facto winning the title of champion of Russia. 2. The state of health. The back requires periodic reductions in the intensity of classes in which a high result is not achieved. 3. Employment in shows in which Trusova realized herself. Perhaps this is one of the few figure skaters who is more in demand in the show than in competitions. Her audience specifically comes to her, and she brings a lot of money, which means that the Olympic medalists' fees will be high. In August, the Chinese market will open for her. 4. Finally, not least, the desire to compete discourages the way she is evaluated. According to people familiar with the situation, Alexandra herself and her entourage do not consider points at Russian competitions and at the Olympics fair. Let's add that Trusova got into the reserve team of the Russian national team. As a rule, reservists receive a half rate from the sports training center. It is small, around 10,000 rubles, but still there. Anna Shcherbakova. We will not repeat ourselves here. In the off-season, rumors seemed to spread that Anna was preparing to return, but then information about mononucleosis appeared in the media from sources. Anna's health. But in 4 months since the new IOC recommendations, the ISU has not made any progress in allowing Russian athletes to enter international competitions. Shcherbakova, again, got into the reserve team of the Russian national team, as we can conclude, for past merits, since in the 2022-23 season, she entered only the tournament of show programs. Kamila Valieva. The probability of Kamila's departure is small, but there is still, for obvious reasons. On September 26-29, Lausanne will host hearings on the case of an anti-doping violation at the Russian Championship in December 2021. The range of sanctions is extremely wide, from conditional, like a warning or reprimand, to a real suspension of up to 4 years. If the disqualification is the maximum period, Valieva will not make sense to continue riding. If the deadline is counted, as Rusada believes, from December 2021, then it will be possible to return only in the 2025-26 season. If KAS accepts the WADA version, then the countdown will start from the moment of the verdict. And such a pause for female singles, even with a change in the age limit, is almost murderous. A period of 2 years will still lead to the loss of this season. The Russian Championship will have time to take place before December 25, and it is necessary to qualify for it, except that Kamila will be given a wild card for the Spartakiad of the strongest and commercial tournaments like the Channel 1 Cup. However, all this is relevant when making at least some decision by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but for now the case is breaking all records for slowness. So far, Valieva has already announced that she is putting programs before the season. Of course, she is in the main team. Maja Kromek is another figure skater from the reserve list and, therefore, a member of the national team with a bet. Kromek last competed in March 2022 at the Channel 1 Cup. In September, before the start of the new season, according to Eteri Tuppereds, she suffered a serious injury to her arm during training. She cut a tendon, and a special neurosurgeon had to deal with it. During the time in the cast, Maja gained weight, Back problems also made themselves felt, a scourge of all quadists. Judging by the video of the first channel, Kromek went through training camps on the eve of the season. She was even put on programs, but it is surprising that Tutberds herself did not invite the figure skater who was gaining form to her show Tour Champions on Ice. Daria Yusacheva wasn't there either, but she didn't even get into the national team, although she also kind of restored triple jumps. Moreover, both Kromek and Yusacheva participated in other shows, Ilya Averbik and Lovers of Figure Skating from Moskomsport. Statistics show that returns after such long breaks in the Tutberds group are extremely rare. Evgenia Tarasova, Vladimir Morozov and other members of the Tutberds team, and in the main part of the Russian national team. There can be no complaints about Evgenia and Vladimir. They worked from bell to bell last season, and he was clearly not ringing for them. Yes, maybe they rode on the light, conceding the right to fight for gold to two pairs of Tamara Moskvina, but they put on the programs, did not shoot, and even experienced a sensitive defeat from a pair of Khabibul and the Prince. The couple themselves talked about the plans in a streamlined way. There is a certain desire for the next season, and then we'll see if it will result in plans. First we need to roll back the tournament of show programs, and then think about the future. The desire to continue eating, Morozov said, and Tarasova confirmed after the Grand Prix final. But judging by the fragmentary data, the silver medalists of the Olympics are in no hurry to put programs for the new season. And they can be understood. Last year, big prize money was a novelty. It's not so easy to survive the second year without international competition. Moreover, experienced greenhouses with their rare classical skating and lines are in demand in the show both Averbik and Tutberds ride, and in other projects. They can easily glue a pair of Totmi and Marinin, who put the show on stream, and earn more than at the stages of the Grand Prix of Russia. Andriy Bajin. A lesser-known figure skater, but, for a moment, another member of the main Russian national team. And one of the oldest. Although there are a lot of veterans in the national team, the same Samrin, who went through a lot of injuries and could also finish in health, but he endures steadfastly and even takes medals of major tournaments. Bajin is not even on the video with congratulations on the anniversary of Alexander Zhulin on July 20th, which means that he does not ride in the group and probably does not train, although he thought about such a possibility. The couple with Sofia Tyutyanina lasted the season and fell apart, as they say, immediately after the Grand Prix final. It seems that 27-year-old Andriy himself understands that there is little point in continuing with the current competition in dancing and the ongoing generational change. What do you think about this? We invite you all to comment because we are sure that you have something to say. Thank you for watching the video to the end. See you soon.